As you know, we've been working for a number of years to raise funds to provide a barn to store the Milwaukee road equipment in out here. And through the generosity of the members and some grants, and particularly one member, Casey O'Neill, the money has been almost raised. We're very close to it. We need a total of $47,500. I think we're about 41 today. Yeah, so we're about $6,000 short of what we need. So Carolyn will be glad to take your money in a little bit. What we'd like to do this morning is symbolically present this check to Nick Callis, General Manager of IRM, for $147,500. Nick, you're only going to have one problem, because if you look on the bottom of the check, you notice that the code numbers down here, if you read them carefully, they say 462-284-060. So those aren't quite the ones you need, but we'll get something else to you then.
You don't have to worry, Bob. Union's got a small bank. They take anything.
Remember, in Milwaukee never had any Berkshires, so you know it's a fake check.
Yeah. Nick, I'd like you to maybe just make a few comments if you have with IRM.
On behalf of the museum, I'd like to thank MRHA for the generous work that they've done to get this stuff inside. I think you'll be proud to know that you're the only organization that's ever done it, even though, as Bob keeps telling me, get those guys with the yellow engines to do this too. But at any rate, the efforts on behalf of you folks is going to take this equipment and get it inside someday, so that it might look bad now, but at least it's going to be around for future generations to see. And I think that's what we're all about here at the museum, is that we're doing this work now, but is it for us? Well, it's nice and we take pictures, but future generations are actually going to see this stuff. We don't do a good job of interpretation, but we're hoping future generations are going to do that too. And so the equipment's going to be around, and you folks are making it all possible. That's the UP.
Yeah, don't put your hands over your hearts. That's the UP, not wrong horns.
So we'll just ignore them. At any rate, today, the plan for today is that we're going to take and have you folks going in kind of a pre-planned way to see different parts of the museum that have Milwaukee road equipment in them. And we're going to, after we break from here, we'll start, and even though it's not Milwaukee road equipment, these passenger cars are open. You'll go in this end, you'll come out the other end, and when you come out the other end, then you'll be right across from Barn 9 where the 265 is. I understand they may be taking a few pictures of folks in the 265 in smaller groups. We can't put everybody on it and that, but in smaller groups, and may take pictures at the with you folks at the 265. From there, as you filter through, we'll have two streetcars over at Springfield Avenue. There'll be people here that'll be guiding you. You'll get on those streetcars and they'll take you over to Barn 2, which is the diesel barn. And in the diesel barn are a couple more pieces of Milwaukee road equipment there. And there's a gentleman in there who will explain anything to you may have. You can be free to walk around in there. Once you've seen that, then back onto the streetcars. The streetcars will be going in a rotation. They will take you up to the Spalding Tower. The Spalding Tower is a working tower for our organization, and there's a gentleman up there. You can go up into the tower and see what it's like up there, the way that we've got it set up for our usage. We have a CTC machine in there that came from the Union Pacific. Part of it is set up for our railroad, and then the one part is for the Union Pacific Railroad. After that, then you're up by the station, and then we're going to be doing some rides on the dynamometer car and the caboose, 760. And it doesn't hold a lot of people, but we can get people in there, and we'll just try to filter everybody, and anybody that wants rides can maybe hopefully get a ride today. After lunch, we're going to put together a freight train. The cars are up there at the depot. We're going to drop the dyno and then put together a freight train, and then have a little freight train for photos. This area that you're in is what we call the South End development. It's an area that is for the future of the organization. There are plans for, this is yard 10 here, the one behind me is yard 11. It goes all the way to yard 16. Well, you know, if we get that much equipment, we'll have that many yards. But right now, this might seem like an out-of-the-way place, but in the future here, the streetcar line is actually going to go all the way around the whole thing, come up along the road there, and it'll make stops at these different barns and then bring people back into the central part of the property. So sometime in the future, this is actually going to be a more public place, a more publicly accessible place. Right now, you know, you got to be a little hardy to make it out here, I guess. Most of the people stay where the asphalt is in the museum. Let's see, did I miss anything back? Oh, now the unfortunate part. Well, we had a break-in last night, and we're still going to have lunch. No, they didn't get them. They're still over at Subway.
Oh, okay.
But they trashed the refreshment stand, and so and you'll see the detectives are here, the girls are here, but you know they're standing by waiting for them to say, okay, go on in and clean up. But we'll still have lunch, still in the same place. We might not have access to this one part of the refreshment stand, but I think we'll be able to still, the plan, you know, we'll still be able to stick with the plan. And, you know, unless they give the go-ahead, and then the girls can clean up the kitchen and go back to the old plan. But other than that, everything is pretty much on task.